So, Golden Kamuy episode 2, you know what? This show is damn good, man. This episode is so good. It had comedy, it had action, it had storytelling, it had all those things that make not only a good episodic narrative per se, a good narrative in general. So let's just start with the opening though, just to get this out of the way. Opening, I felt like it had like a unique feel to it in a way, just because like the way it was kind of put together and just I guess the artwork in and of itself was kind of just different in a way. A lot of ways it was very similar to other shows. Sure, openings are openings in a lot of cases, visually, at times depends. But this one just had that kind of unique feel, and maybe it was the music just the music and combination of music and visuals rather than just one specific thing. But it kind of had that feel to it. But the ED music was really good. I really liked that, and I really liked the symbolism in the ED. Especially whenever it showed kind of like a map forming, and it showed the gold on top of the map. That was pretty cool to see. And we got to see the dude, I guess, with no face. Apparently, the guy who hid the treasure to begin with. But other than that, let's talk about Sugimoto. I mean, this guy, I love his character so much. I'm just so drawn to him. I keep wondering why, and that's because he is the main cast member that's usually the secondary lead character per se. Kind of like maybe the Bakugo to Deku and with the Sasuke to Naruto. And I mean that since that, he's kind of like that guy that has the anti-hero-esque personality. He's the survival of the fittest. The strongest are on top. And that's kind of the personality of those guys, right? And they're kind of anti-hero-ish. They're the kind of characters that you say, okay, they could end up losing their way and go to the bad side. And I guess Sugimoto is basically that person that has a personality but it's controlled. He has a dark flame, but it never spirals out of control. It's really concealed, and wherever he needs to, I guess, make the flame bigger per se in moments of desperation and or I guess life or death, he lets the flame get bigger, but it never gets out of control. Which is the same thing with his demeanor. And I really like that. He has morals, and it's cool to see a character that has, I guess, all these anti-hero-esque qualities, but yet they're so contained in a great moral sense. And that is kind of showcased whenever he's talking to, I can't remember the Anu girl's name. I was hoping they said it today. I don't think they said it today. But I couldn't remember it. And basically he's kind of saying, hey, I'm not a murderer, I've learned how to survive, and this is what must be done in the business I come from. You come from a more, I guess, isolated life that's not involving all these different kind of human beings that are part of the war and killers, per se. So that's kind of cool how he just kind of said that out loud and said, hey, this is where I'm coming from. And on top of that, we find out that the prisoners have learned that, a couple of the prisoners learned that we're not all getting this gold. We're probably going to die whenever we get captured, or get skinned or something. And so they start to kill each other. And that's a problematic because now the prisoners are not one cohesive unit. They're scattered. So now you got to find all 24 of them. As we also find out today that there's 24 of them. And we find out that there's also a leader that is from an era that was from 30 years ago. I can't remember exactly what era it was. And we found out that he is a badass, basically. I mean, he dropped 3 dudes in like a minute, 10 seconds. He just dropped them instantly. And he's someone who's known as the Demon Vice Commander. So obviously that he's strong as shit. He's the one that's chosen to be the head of the jailbreak, the escape. So we know that's going to be some troublesome stuff right there. And he's also the only one that knows, I guess, the people associated with the man with no face that hid the treasure to begin with. So that's something that we also got to think about. But we do also find out that they need to go to Otaru. And I wonder what that is about. I mean, that's probably where the associates are, the people associated with the man with no face who hid the treasure to begin with. So the Golden Kamuy. Now, hopping on to the other thing I had written down here, which was the Anu. I love what they're doing with the Anu girl and her characterization because it's always indirect. It's her usually just kind of talking out loud, talking about why Anu do what they do, and it helps us understand her. It gives her characterization and explains why she is who she is without saying, hey, this is why I do the shit I do. It's something that I do I kind of prefer a lot of times because it's so easy to do direct characterization, I guess. Which, I mean, it's easy to do either one, but just something new is refreshing all the time. I mean, if you do it direct and or indirect, that's fine. I'll love it either way as long as it's good and well written. So, I mean, yeah, it's just refreshing to see indirect characterization from time to time, just not saying, hey, this is who I am. It's kind of like saying, yeah, let me just tell you a little bit about my life and maybe you'll learn something along the way. I guess is the best way to put it. But other than that, the hypothermia skit was badass. That was funny as shit. Like, it's such a serious moment, and they were just like, they literally got to find out what to do in 10 minutes, or else they're gonna die. And yeah, Sugimoto, Immortal Sugimoto, freaking out. I mean, so they're called about, you know, they're talking about headness. You know, you start losing kind of your mind, you start spacing out when that, or whenever that cold gets to you. And I was like, oh shit. We saw him jump back into the damn river or stream, whatever it was, creek. I don't know what you want to call it. But that was good stuff. That was very well written. It's very well, I guess, orchestrated per se. It's greatly put together. I loved it. So, other than that, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, X25. See you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.